Are we in?
We're live. It's Thursday.
Hey!
Thursday
Hello.
of the week.
Hello everybody, how are we? Are we on?
We're on.
We've got a new bit of kit today. We've got a real microphone as opposed to just using our mobile smartphone. We've got a
We used to
microphone.
have a mic in the shop.
We did. We had a mic in the shop.
He was here forever.
He was here for a long time. Anyway.
He was not a new piece of kit. He was an old piece of kit.
Indeed.
Well, how's everyone's week going?
Wonderful, thank you.
I think I've finally gone absolutely insane, but that's fine.
It happens.
I think
Yeah.
your best effort was that Tuesday you had no idea what day it was.
Oh yeah. A little. Some of you might have heard.
Peter's on. Hi, Peter.
Some of you might have heard on the grapevine, but Luke didn't turn up to work on Tuesday because he thought it was Monday. Luckily, we're not so busy that was a huge problem.
I texted Luke to find out if he was okay, and it's like, oh,
It's
I
Tuesday.
didn't even know what day it was.
A couple of calls, like, not connecting.
No,
Oh.
I was in bed. I was having to sleep in, which is unfortunate. But you know, I made it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
alright.
Yeah.
We're doing flavoured vodka today. I'm so goddamn excited. The reason I'm excited is because we've never done a vodka tasting before. Because vodka, for all intents and purposes, is actually not meant to taste like much. Which is why we're doing flavoured vodka.
But why is it not meant to taste like much? What about vodka?
Vodka is a base. Vodka is like your minimum requirement for making a drink. Anyway, we're going to start with the Finlandia Grapefruit vodka.
Thank you.
Now, what is vodka usually made out of?
This is where you get a bit of myths and misconceptions because some people think it's made out of certain things. Vodka can be made out of any grain, fruit, vegetable, etc. Anything that you can ferment and distill. What makes it vodka is it needs to be distilled up to 95% ABV,
Okay, right.
which is what's called a neutral grain spirit. To be classified as vodka, it has to become neutral grain spirit first. And
Right.
then is brought down to a standard of 40% for drinking, and that's done by adding sleep water, which is why you see certain vodkas like Grey Goose, Tasmanian vodkas, New Zealand vodkas trying really hard to source really pure, clean water.
Interesting. There you go. I see. Right.
And first things first, we're all, as part of this investigation, Luke discovered that back, I don't know, in 2013 or 14 or
2011.
the Finlandia Grapefruit Vodka won the best vodka at the IWSC Championships in San Francisco, which means we all thought it was just another flavoured vodka, but it turns out it's actually quite a good one. We also just guessed it was so they just got some vodka and put some flavouring in, but it's actually infused with real grapefruit. So
Yeah, and not just grapefruit. Grapefruit, just the peel of the grapefruit. So if you know anything about citrus, you get different flavours from the actual juice of the fruit and a different flavour again from the peel, which produces sort of those beautiful oily characteristics.
You can actually smell that it's pink. Grapefruit.
Good. Yeah.
So starting...
Well, we've got Liz. Hey, Liz. Couple others. Hi, Josh. Steve. He's watching with much curiosity. Christine. We're starting with our Finlandia Grapefruit.
ta-da.
That one. Beautiful. Welcome, everyone.
It smells...
So we've just served ours up on ice.
Yeah, this is
Finlandia.
only a half shot, because some of us actually do have to get home.
What?
Instead of a whole shot, well, we could do, then it'd be
No.
three whole shots in half an hour. That's not responsible serving of alcohol.
Kicking.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh, that smells really nice.
Yeah, you get lots of like fresh, zesty, ruby grapefruit.
Oh, yum. I'm going to take some of this home.
There's
Quite
almost
sweet.
there's almost a hint of like a vanilla-ness to it, which is nice.
A creaminess, you think?
Yeah. I think that's from the oil in the
I did
skin.
not think vodka would taste like that.
This is I've had this one before and it really confused me because it was not what I expected.
Well, I've had it before, but I usually have
Josh
it with.
has confessed he actually likes it. Ha ha.
I actually like it too, but how I've had it is with tonic, so a bit like instead of a gin and tonic, a sort of a grapefruit vodka and tonic, and it works really well, in my opinion.
Beautiful. Now, I was reading somewhere about tasting vodka, and so it was saying that when you taste it, you leave it in your on your tongue, and then you exhale, and then you feel it sort of down your throat, and that's how you meant to taste vodka. And then they also recommended taking a shot as well and sort of compare the experiences. Either way you want to go.
Well, the other thing with tasting any spirit, though, you do need to condition your palate, because the first time that the spirit hits you, your mouth, there's some burn, which is not necessarily flavour.
No.
It tastes like toothpaste depending on what time
And
of day
that's
it is.
now that we're talking about vodka. This is something I learnt when I was doing my course in distillation with Wesset. When you taste vodka or alcohol, we try not to describe the ethanol as a flavour. Like, we don't say, oh, it's got a spiciness. Unless there's actually black pepper or spiced flavours in there, we try to avoid that because we're not. But it inherently has alcohol in it. To describe that as a flavour is counterintuitive.
Yeah, everyone is saying that it smells absolutely fantastic. Everyone is loving the smell. And people are tasting it, and everyone seems very surprised and loving it.
Well, we're
That's
surprised when
fantastic.
Luke was doing a bit of research on it and come back and said, oh, this thing won a gong for the best vodka in show.
I
San Francisco.
believe it won in the category of flavoured vodkas.
The flavoured vodkas? Okay.
I actually wasn't going to do this, but did actually find some pink grapefruit this afternoon. So
There you go.
I'm going to put some pink grapefruit in this and see if I can bring out some more of the juicy sort of
I
aromatic.
can see this is the basis of a long drink in summer. I think this would be
Oh,
delicious.
yeah. Yeah, Christine says it's a win for me. The aromas and flavours of grapefruit without the bitterness. Quite right.
Yeah, that's well said. Because it's not got the juice in there. There's not that sour, bitter.
Now, Luke, you said to everybody what they need to do is have orange and soda. So do I try orange and soda with this?
No.
No?
The orange is not for this.
Not for this? Okay.
I put some grapefruit in mine. The orange will come too. I've got a little bit of soda. I'm just adding a dash. I'm not making a full mixed drink.
Yeah.
This is just to help open up some of the
Flavours?
oils and flavours and stuff.
Do I need grapefruit as well, or is it just fine
I
like
don't
that?
think it needs it. I think this is actually... The beautiful thing about a flavoured vodka is it can have enough flavour to not need aromatics.
Yeah?
I could drink a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Definitely.
the one thing I'll say about Finlandia, it's not the most expensive vodka out there. Like, it's pretty affordable, pretty approachable. They do attempt to use really clean. They say they use glacial water. How much of it is glacial water, we don't know. But I would say once you add some soda water, there's not too much residual burn. Like, this is a very light.
How would this go as a spritz, you reckon?
I'd give that a crack.
What kind of spritz are we talking, Russ?
Prosecco.
Prosecco.
I think you'd want a really plain Prosecco, to
But
be
that's
honest.
normally what we suggest for spritzes anyway. You don't want a Prosecco that's
Yeah.
got lots of flavour.
No, you wouldn't want a super appley, lemony, fruit forward Prosecco. But
Oh, Martin's watching. Hi, Martin.
hi, Martin.
Liza says it's delicious, and Christine says it slides down way too easily.
Ah.
Definitely agree.
I agree completely with Christine. I'm not a huge fan of vodka, but this is beautiful.
Yeah.
And with that, I think I'm going to move on
Yeah, sounds good.
before
Hi, Lisa.
I lose all understanding of how to get to the train station.
So what are we going to try now? The Sobieski.
The Sobieski honey vodka.
I actually thought we'd end up with a honey, but if you reckon honey's next,
Is that the way we pronounce it?
Sobieski, yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Took me a few turns to nail it.
So we got
Sobieski.
Bowls have approved, have they?
And what
Brett Schwartz, welcome.
woohoo! And while we're talking about Sobieski, this is Josh's favourite, or one of Josh's favourite vodkas.
Hard to find you.
So
Well, Josh has said, with the soda water, what garnish? Maybe a little mint? We've got some mint here.
We've got some mint.
So maybe, yeah.
I just got the mint just as an exciting, why not?
Yeah, so maybe you can give it a go.
Yeah, while I'm pouring this, you can always throw mint into the grapefruit, I think. Give it a bit more complexity.
Thanks. Gotta give it a clap.
But, not necessary. Just
Josh also thinks we should have the honey last, but spoiler alert,
this is
Luke's in charge.
Yeah, look, the reason I say this is there's something I want to talk about with the 666, and I don't know that it's a good idea to put it in the middle.
That's fair.
If you say so.
Now I'm intrigued. What mischief have you got in mind, Luke?
Well, we may have to wait and find out.
So suspense as well as mischief. All
Yeah.
in this one thing. We almost have a plot.
Oh, completely. I would actually go as far to
say it's basically water.
I would go as far to say a conspiracy, maybe, Ross.
Fossy's Distillery has said, very intriguing commentary, guys. Unfortunately, I'm not organised enough to have a drink along with you with Day's samples. Well, next time. But yeah. Thank you very much.
Get on it, Steve. We'll post it up to Sunny Mildura.
Oh, well, we might have to do a Fossey's tasting at some time just so Steve can taste along with us.
All right, so Sobieski honey vodka.
Wow, this is so floral.
Yeah. Oh, so
Well, we were actually smelling this yesterday. So.
we have had a bit of a cheat with this one. So because we've been bottling up little tasting flights for people to taste along at home, in the process of doing so yesterday,
Yes.
Eva got a whiff of this and said that it was
Smell.
surprisingly floral.
And I thought it smelled like roses. But it smells even different on ice,
Yeah.
I feel.
And this is something to be said, which is pretty standard. A lot of the honey that we consume here,
Steve says swap you for ours.
a lot of the honey that we consume here is obviously Australian honey, which is from Australian flowers.
Yeah.
So you get like a lot of native botanicals, red gum,
No, a lot of
Eucalyptus.
eucalypt,
Yeah.
and that sort of flavours. This is obviously a Polish vodka. It's made with European honey, so you see things like a lot more complex floral characteristics.
Lavender rose sort of.
Lavender,
Yeah, you're
rose,
right.
Yeah.
orange blossom.
This is spring
Yeah.
garden kind of honey, not.
Yeah. You even said a bit of like elderflower.
Yeah, I get
So-
elderflower on the nose. This is why it's so interesting, because honey is not one flavour, it's a whole cacophony of different sort of sweet, sugary, caramelly, floral.
Christine's now talking to Steve at Fossy's.
I'm going to sip this.
Rose petals.
Yeah, Liz says this one goes down even easier. And we go. Nicola says this one's very, very moreish.
Because this actually is made with real honey, it does have a textural element.
Wow.
It does give it that really beautiful viscosity on the tongue, which I love.
Now, is this
That's delicious.
Now, do you know if the honey goes in the still or just goes in the infusion afterwards?
Well, the Polish have been making spiced
That's
vodkas for a
nice.
very long
That's
time.
really good.
And, you see lots of spiced honeys, krupnikas, traditional stuff like that. Some of them add honey into the still. Some of them add it afterwards. They don't actually say what they do with the Sobieski. I suspect it's a mixture of both.
It's hard to find things out about the Sobieski.
That's the other thing, is a lot of the Polish flavoured vodkas, their ingredients, because they're sort of family-based recipes, they are very tightly kept secrets that they try not to give away.
Keep it on the down low, yeah.
See, Josh drinks this camping. I could have this by the fire in winter. This is much more of a. This is an autumn winter kind of drink.
Yeah.
This is good time for this one.
Samantha has said she likes this one. It reminds me of lemon and honey tea. It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get that.
There is a bit of lemon to it, which is
This
nice.
would be good if you had a sore throat, wouldn't it?
Oh, so we're going to wait till we get a sore throat to drink this, is
No.
that the story?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's preventative.
We'll get it so we don't get a sore throat.
Camping vodka.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Christine said I'm getting honeysuckle and a little magnolia on the nose. Smells like a balmy spring night.
I'm
I'll get
gonna,
a bit of magnolia too. I'm on that.
I'm going to go as far as to say I'm not even going to put soda in this.
Our question is, given that we've got our new microphone on the job, how's the sound this time? Because is it better? We get
I
feedback?
really like this one. Sorry. I'm just,
Oh.
We are all loving the shit out of this.
Yeah, because I was a little bit skeptical about tasting vodka because I'm not crazy about it, but I really like this one.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm going to be really extreme. I've not just cut up some orange and grapefruit and stuff. I've also got some orange peel because
Some rind.
I'm an absolute sucker for not just citrus juice, but the oils in the skin. So I'm going to go ahead and put some
Sounds much better,
orange
Lisa. Thank you.
in my
Cool.
honey.
Yeah, Josh says the same.
Orange in the honey.
Sound is good. Right, thanks
Beautiful.
guys.
Beautiful.
What do you think?
That's delicious.
Delicious?
Absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have to do that
Does
too?
it?
Can I have a
What does it change? Would you say?
It gives it a little bit more depth. I think like it's a deeper flavour.
It's with
Yeah,
a twist,
okay.
yes.
Yeah. So
So how do we
That's
do
what
it?
twisting is about.
Yeah. Rather, they say a twist. You don't need to twist the citrus peel. You can fold it, and that's the best
Ooh.
way to squeeze. Like long ways, you fold it long ways, and then you twist it and do whatever you want with it.
Fantastic.
And that'll squeeze out all of the oils. And you sort of spritz it over your glass.
Jenna says, "Where's the flame for the orange skin?"
Yeah, some people do use a lighter or a flame to heat up the orange peel and then squirt it through the flame. That's a traditional thing for whiskey old fashions,
Yeah. Okay.
which is like a lot heavier, darker, and that gives you that really toasted orange flavour. I don't think that's necessarily required for something really light and floral.
I see. I think this tasting may have made Christina believer.
Whoa!
Oh! See, vodka is
Isn't that a
just
monkey?
boring.
That's a monkey
Love that.
song, isn't it? I'm a believer.
I'm a believer, I
I'm a
can leave her if I try.
I really hope we don't get copyright for this, but we'll see. We're going to move on.
Yay!
Last but not least,
The butter vodka.
butter vodka.
Ooh.
This means technically you can have it for breakfast, right?
Yeah, just on toast.
You could dip the toast in if you really feel like
Oh, toasties.
So this one's from Cape Grim in Tasmania, the northwest. The purest air in the world, and technically the purest water.
I was going to say, they're not making it out of air.
The clear, no, but the air, the all of that.
I'm really excited about this.
Why are you excited about this?
Um,
Sorry, that's normally Eva's job.
there's lots of different ways to flavour vodka, whether it's putting stuff in the still, whether it's infusing it afterwards. This is a really traditional way of treating a spirit called fat washing, which is
I've
kind
never
of
heard of before.
very old and absolutely batshit crazy. So what happens when you produce a vodka or a neutral grain spirit? You're distilling vegetable, herb, fruit to a really high ABV, which can often bring out the ethanol can bring along with it methanols, other complex fruit acids and proteins, which is why you can get really pungent spirits that give you really bad hangovers, make you feel really ill, stuff like that if they're really cheap and badly made.
I can't read what this is.
What
Yeah.
fat washing does is it takes a fat that is solid at room temperature, so butter is perfect. What you do is you melt it down to a liquid, you mix it with your spirit, and then you chill it down. It's a form of chill filtration, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago. And
Oh,
what
it's
that
like
does,
yeah.
all of the complex vegetal proteins that can give you those really harsh, sharp ethanol flavours
Sticks with the butter.
stick to the butter.
Ah.
Because the butter is a really fat, viscous, sticky product. And you chill it down, and the fat solidifies, taking with it a lot of the vegetal protein, which can give you a really nasty hangover and really sharp on the palate. And it basically cleans and flavours your vodka.
Okay, what are we smelling here?
Interesting.
So the reason I've
There
left
you
this
go.
till last is because this actually contains quite a fair amount of fat that will sit on the palate. If we had it before the other vodkas, it might ruin the tasting
Overpower.
experience for
Oh,
something
okay.
floral
Yeah,
or
okay.
fruity because it will coat your mouth.
Okay, interesting.
Sorry, I was going to try that, but
The 666 orphan butter. Try.
James is watching. Hi, James. Welcome. And I think, is Megan watching? This is the first time Megan's watched one. This is good.
It's got a really interesting smell. It's got, like, obviously creaminess, which you would expect.
Oh, and lots of vanilla.
Lots of vanilla.
Belle wanted to know what we mix with the honey vodka.
Don't.
Don't.
Just
Or
drink it.
Soda.
Enjoy it.
Or soda.
Dash of soda works.
Also Peter, who gives us the Sobieski, he recommended lemonade as another option, but not too sure about that.
No, that sounded a bit batshit crazy to me.
Yeah.
Lemonade. No.
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 I think...
Lemonade's saved for
It's
raspberry
Italian,
cordial.
what do you know? It's Polish vodka.
I'm very excited about this.
Oh, this smells fantastic.
But what does it smell of? I've smelled something like that before, but I can't find the right word.
It's almost maple syrupy on the nose.
Megan says the honey is the best.
Woohoo!
I love this. I love this so much. It's not even funny. Because this is not just flavoured vodka. This is like a textured vodka.
Okay, so I'm getting all of this. This is amazing. So now what do we do with the orange and the stuff?
Mandy Gecko's in Queensland.
Yes.
Good job.
Coletta says vanilla ice cream. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
I totally
There's
get.
the sweetness, the
There's
vanilla.
also like
yeah.
And the creaminess and the texture.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well done, Colette.
It's almost like that pastry butter, like buttered pastry, sort of delicious.
Yeah.
Croissant.
Yeah.
Or caramel, Micah said.
Yeah, a bit caramelly.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's getting their vanilla.
The textured element of this makes it really versatile for cocktails as well.
So what do we do about the orange, Luke?
Oh, sorry. This is more experimental than anything. Slices of orange. I really wanted to do this, mostly just to play with everyone's misconceptions.
Yeah, because I imagine this is like butter, so dairy, and then like acid and citrus just like curdling.
Number one, orange is a pretty low acid citrus. Like it's not like lemon or lime.
Okay, I'm just waiting for the look on your face when you taste it.
Oh, that is like orange and poppy seed cake. It's delicious.
Is that a good thing?
The really beautiful thing about the butter is because it reminds you of pastries, vanillas, honeys, caramels. You can treat it like a dessert, even though it's not sweet. So orange, like that really beautiful sweet fruitiness of the orange, is like it's almost like a cocktail in a glass.
Oh yeah, that is good. Do I need to add soda or do you just have?
You can add a bit of soda if you want.
Liz has said she popped some orange zest, folded, not scrunched, and it worked for me.
Nice.
Beautiful. Well done, Liz.
Yeah. I think, are we all honestly a little bit surprised by vodka tasting today?
I'm very surprised, yes. Question, what makes a good vodka? Because sometimes vodka just be like, it all tastes the same. But what would you say makes a good vodka? What do you need to look for?
When you're distilling vodka, you basically what you're doing is first you ferment it with yeast, which makes what's called a low wine. So similar alcohol content to beer or wine. It's it's pretty low. It's never over 20% ABV. Then what you do is you boil it in a still, because alcohol boils at a different temperature to water. As you start to boil it, all of the alcohol boils off first, and you catch it, and the water boils off second. So whatever comes out of the top of the still, you collect at different portions. Now the first thing to come off will be all your really hardcore, not ethanol, but methanol. Really pungent.
Yeah, a whole lot of junky stuff.
It's metho. They use it to make cleaner and all sorts of stuff. It's awful.
Hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer. Don't drink it. It will give you a hangover.
When we made gin with Derv at Anther, it's what they call the head.
So what they do
goes
is they cut
away.
off the first 10 to 20%. They call that as the heads, and the bottom bit is watery, sludgy, gross stuff. They call that the tails. A really good vodka is often made when they cut off more at the start and more at the end. You get less yield, which is why it's often more expensive, but you just get the really clean ethanol, not your nasty metho and other junky stuff. If you have a spirit that's 40% and you drink lots of it and wake up without a hangover, it's probably a really good spirit because it's just straight ethanol that's in there. If you have something of the exact same strength in the exact same percentage, it can give you a really horrible hangover if it's got methanol and other types of alcohol that aren't good for you in there.
So you're sure it's not all about you haven't drunk too much?
Well, yeah, there is something to be said about good quality stuff does not give you as bad a hangover. And the other thing is, it's distilled to 95%, it's bottled at 40%. There's a lot of water in a bottle of vodka. So good water makes a difference.
Yeah.
Josh says if you're in Russia and you want good vodka, go to Poland.
And I would totally agree with that. Polish make really good vodka. As well as New Zealand. Tasmania makes a couple of different really good vodkas.
Places with good water.
Places with good water.
No, you're right. Now, one thing we didn't actually talk about was pairing, or where you'd want to be drinking these. We talked a little bit about the Finlandia, sort of almost like a spritz or sort of a...
Summertime vodka. Yeah.
And then the honey, you mentioned the, I guess, sort of an autumn. Well, Vivian mentioned the
That's
sort
by
of...
the fire kind of arrangement.
By the fire, autumn. What about the 666 feeling?
The 666, I think I really like it as like the last drink of the evening. Something nice and, rich, a little bit different. Finish off the evening.
I could see this would go really well in a martini.
Oh, well, you heard it here first. Normally that's what I say, but
Okay, I said it.
I can't disagree with you. Beautiful. What time is it?
Now, Steve has a question. If you have a blank canvas, an exceptionally good based spirit, in your opinion, all four of us, what flavour are you going to add for a great vodka? That's a good question. Well, I quite like the citrus aspect, really. So I quite like the grapefruit, citrusy, blood orange, that kind of...
Yeah.
I'd go down that sort of way to have it sort of a summer spritz, sort of vodka soda kind of situation, I reckon.
So that's this department.
Yeah, that's that department.
That's a really tough question. I think I would want to do something ridiculous.
You?
Yeah.
You'd want to do something ridiculous.
Who to guess?
What?
Blood plum and pink peppercorn.
What?
Why not?
Blood plum and pink peppercorn.
I'm never going to know what that tastes like unless I make it myself.
You don't want almond and rose peel or something? Rose petals? No? Anyone can do that. For Joa?
For Joa's been done.
I know. 42 below.
Christine says the 666 would go well with the macadamia liqueur. What's that called?
Oh, yeah.
Luke scored the last ball.
I took the last ball of this. Christine, thank you very much. You have just inspired this evening's cocktail when I go home. Macadamia liqueur and some butter vodka. I think I'll make myself a autumnal martini.
No, it would be a butter boom, wouldn't it?
Yum.
Oh, no.
What about you, Vivian? What would you put in your vodka?
No, I think I'm with Igor. I think I really liked... I've liked them all. I'm completely shocked that I like vodka. But I do really like the grapefruit. I think I can see myself doing that as an alternative to gin.
But if you had to make your own...
I can see the butter vodka being good mixing in all sorts of things, like even an espresso martini.
Yeah.
I've done...
Yeah.
And that is
so if you had to
phenomenal.
If I had to make my own from scratch, then I would definitely consider a coffee vodka.
Oh, yeah. Don't these guys do it?
These guys do a coffee vodka also.
Even better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cape Grim 666
Watch
coffee
this
vodka.
Space.
Yeah.
Oh, we can have a coffee tasting.
Oh,
We
yeah.
could
Yeah, watch this space.
You
We
should
are...
see Vivian's face light up. She goes,
Yeah, she's very excited.
We could do, I'd have to catch a taxi home that day. We'd have to do a bit of Mr. Black and a bit of that.
Bit of
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, yeah.
Bit of that.
We've got people at home. So Steve says coffee and Vegemite. So going a bit coffee and
Ooh,
salty. Interesting.
yeasty.
Well, has anybody ever tried the Thunder vodka, which we also stock, which is the toffee vodka? Oh my god, that is the best.
I thought we were going to
We'll
take...
do a
I said to
tasting
Ross-
of that at some stage.
Well,
Yeah,
Ross did a tasting of it at home, and the next morning had forgotten altogether that we drank toffee vodka.
That being said, if there's other stuff out there that you haven't had before
A little bit curious.
and are curious about, let us know, because we are going to be doing these tastings continuously, and we would love some input as to what you guys want to taste.
Yeah.
If it's something that you don't know if you're going to like, that's great, because we can send you a little bottle as part of a flight. You only have to get 100 mils of each one.
Yeah.
That means you don't have to, if you don't like it, it's no great loss.
Yeah.
Rather than wasting a whole bottle.
Yeah.
So let us know.
Mike is thinking about ginger and lemon as a vodka. It's quite a nice one.
Oh, yeah.
I like
That'd
that
work.
idea. Yeah. We've
And
got,
that'd be a good mixer too. You can use it for lots of things.
yeah. Somebody said.
I have heard of
I think
ginseng vodka.
Belle said lychee. That'd be funky.
Ooh.
I like
I-
that.
We've had a lychee vodka. Who made the lychee vodka? I haven't seen that around for yonks.
Might be worth looking into.
Colette has just said she's just tried the 666 with a splash of macadamia liqueur.
Woohoo!
She's ready to go. Pretty good.
Go Colette, that's excellent.
Yeah. But there you go.
Also, Colette, I would love to know what macadamia liqueur you're using. Because there's a few out there, and we've just gone through the last of it.
No, there's something.
So,
That's fine.
yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Vivian's off hunting through the shop now for...
That what Vivian is pointing out is a wattle seed and macadamia.
There you go.
Anyway, besides the
Beautiful.
point.
Well, do we
That'd
have any
work with
last comments about vodka, apart from that we're very surprised? That we really
We've
enjoyed
never
it?
done a vodka tasting before. We've done
In
heaps
the
of
history
gin,
of wigs.
heaps of whiskey, heaps of rum, some tequila,
Plenty of gin,
plenty of gin. We've never done,
plenty of red wine, plenty of white wine, plenty of
Vodka.
sparkling wine.
and there is more flavoured vodka out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to give it another crack, maybe.
Speaking of tastings,
This
Well-
is our yellow tasting.
speaking of tastings,
Yes. Speaking of tasting, yeah.
Next week, I forgot to prepare the
Well,
bottles, but
which
that's
ones are
fine. We're doing Cabernet Sauvignon. We've already posted
which
the
ones are
event.
they?
We're doing the Scotchman's Hill Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yep.
Nope, and the Levray Cabernet Sauvignon.
Cab Franc.
Oh, Cab Franc, sorry. And the Di Giorgio, the Lucendale.
Hey.
As we prepared, not very early. Yeah, so
I've
that's
just
going
run
to
my scavenger hunt for the evening.
we're going to be doing these next week. We've already posted the event. I'll post it in this week's event of the vodka tasting. And we've already posted our tasting for the 21st of May. We're going to be doing gin again, but we're going to be doing Old Tom style gins. For those that are out of Melbourne, if you could let us know by tomorrow if you'd like a flight for the Old Tom, just so we can make sure they get out to you on time, because the post is slightly delayed at the moment. But
And-
yeah, I'll post all the info that you need to know.
Yet again, we will be offering for next week's tastings, if you do get to us in time, you can buy these as full bottles. We can also do them
Yeah,
as a
so
tasting flight.
half bottles are, for the three of them, is $40, or we can do the whole pack for $60.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the
Beautiful.
other thing we were going to do, so now we're going to have the tastings organised a couple of weeks in advance,
Yep.
so that you can see, and we should have a couple of events up in order, so you can see what's coming next. So for those of you who are a bit of a distance away, as Eva says, we can get them to you. The other thing is that we are going to start a bit of audience participation. So apart from sharing and doing all of those fabulous things you do, and inspired by the fact that for the gin tasting you guys took such fabulous and posted such fabulous photos, there will be a tasting prize each week for what we think is the best piece of
Fun.
social stuff.
Um,
Pictures,
So
engagement,
creative pics,
creative
engagement,
Interaction.
tagging.
interaction.
Yeah.
Best dad joke. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's mine.
And
Maybe not.
that's
And
that's
my
not
early-
limited to any one thing. If we are doing a tasting and you have a suggestion for a cocktail that would work for the spirit and we really like it, we might just choose you as the winner and make the cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see what
So
happens.
we'll see what happens.
Everything
So
is much
with-
appreciated.
Did you want to describe what you're going to be doing with the Old Toms as well, Luke?
No, cause we'll post in the event for that one because it's
Okay.
in 2 weeks, so it's
Yeah.
well, we have plenty
We're
of time.
still deciding on some tricky things for the Old Tom tasting.
How
so
we're going to be serving
the Old
them.
Tom gin tasting, we've posted already which gins we're tasting. They're in the event. We will update you guys on any other things that you might need in terms of mixes, garnishes, etc., etc. And we'll let you guys know in that event. So if you click attending to the Facebook events, that means that you will see more of the updates. And that being said, I think that's just about it.
No, I've got one last bit of housekeeping.
Oh,
Big thank you to Eva and a big thank you to Luke because you've done a big job this week for this. It's been good. And big thank you for Vivian behind the camera production.
indeed.
Woo-hoo.
Especially being our yellow woman for the pigs.
Yeah.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Well,
Alright.
hang in there, guys. Just stay isolated or whatever you're doing. I don't get this stuff, but it's really weird.
Stay inside, stay safe, wash your hands.
Keep drinking.
See you next week.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.